When you're looking at a 65-inch 4K display for a lobby, a conference room, or a storefront, the first thing that makes you pause is the fear of spending a lot of money on a screen that ends up being more flash than function. You've probably seen glossy ads that promise crystal clear visuals and seamless connectivity, but the real question is whether the unit will actually fit into the everyday flow of your business without becoming a headache. That's why I'm going to walk through the Samsung QB65R the way I would if I were setting it up myself, from the box to the wall, from the first video you play to the daily maintenance routine. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the QB65R sits in the commercial signage segment, which is a niche that values reliability and ease of integration more than the pure gaming performance you see on consumer TVs. The 65-inch panel is built around Samsung's Crystal Color engine, delivering 4K UHD resolution. In practice, that means a crisp, color-accurate image that holds up when you're showing corporate branding or high-resolution product videos. In a lobby where the screen is the first thing visitors see, that visual impact is a genuine plus. You'll notice the difference between a washed-out display and one that renders the brand's palette correctly. One of the most talked about features is the built-in system-on-chip, SoC, and the embedded media player. For a business that doesn't want to run a separate PC or media box, this all-in-one approach can simplify the wiring. You hook the HDMI source, connect the Ethernet or Wi-Fi, and the display handles playback, scheduling, and even remote monitoring through Samsung's Tizen-based platform. I've seen installations where the Signage manager can push new content from a central server with just a few clicks, and there's no need to worry about a PC crashing in the backroom. That kind of simplicity translates directly into lower operational costs, especially for smaller teams that don't have a dedicated IT person on standby. Speaking of connectivity, the QB65R is Cisco WebEx Room Kit compatible, which makes it a handy addition to a meeting room that already uses WebEx for video calls. The built-in webcam, if you add the optional kit, and microphone can be activated directly from the display, cutting down on extra cables and devices. In a real-world scenario, you could run a weekly all-hands meeting where the presenter steps up to the screen, shares a PowerPoint, and then clicks Join WebEx without ever leaving the display's interface. That workflow feels natural, and the latency is low enough that you don't notice any lag during a conversation. Now, let's talk about the practical strengths that matter after you've mounted the unit. The brightness rating is 350 nits. For indoor signage, that's generally sufficient. It's bright enough to overcome typical office lighting and ambient sunlight from windows, but it won't be blinding in a dim conference room. The slim, elegant design with a thin bezel also means you can mount it on a wall or a sleek stand without the screen dominating the space. The cable management system is built right into the back panel, so you can route power, HDMI, and Ethernet through the same channel and keep the installation tidy. I've seen this done in a boutique retail setting where the screen is flush with the wall, and the only visible line is a slim power cord that can be hidden behind a decorative trim. However, there are a few hidden trade-offs you need to be aware of before you decide this is the right fit. First, the 350 nit brightness, while adequate for most indoor environments, starts to fall short in bright retail windows that face direct sunlight. If you plan to install the QB65R in a high-traffic storefront with large windows, you may need to add a shade or consider a higher brightness model. Second, the SoC media player is great for basic playlists, but it isn't a full-blown Windows or macOS environment. If your signage strategy relies on custom software that needs a conventional operating system, you'll still need an external PC or a more flexible media player. The display will accept the feed, but you won't get the same level of control you would with a dedicated computer. Another practical consideration is the upscaling capability. Samsung markets intelligent UHD upscaling as a way to take low-resolution content and make it look good on a 4K panel. In tests with standard definition video loops, the upscaler does a respectable job. Edges are smoother and color banding is reduced. But it's not a miracle worker. If you're feeding a lot of old marketing videos that were never shot in high definition, you'll still see a noticeable difference compared to native 4K content. The upscaler is helpful, but it doesn't replace the need for properly sourced high-resolution assets if you want the screen to look truly premium. Who should buy the QB65R? If you run a corporate office, a hotel lobby, a medical waiting area, or any environment where you need a reliable 4K display that can double as a meeting room screen, this model hits a sweet